called isLife with the amazing ingredient Fucoidan and vitamin D3. And we have Dr. Charlie Rouse on the line with us tonight, registered pharmacist and doctor of natural medicine, and he has a phenomenal presentation for us tonight. So, Dr. Rouse, I'm going to go ahead and turn this call over to you.
Thank you, Gloria. I think the best way to get organized and the best way to get encouraged and is to just simply explain what's in the product and what we put in the product and the actual milligrams that we used, knowing that what we have is by far the world's best. The ingredients are very simple. Fucoidan, that's the sea plant, and the neat thing about this is that it's certified organic. That's hard to come by. The actual certification process and the organic certification process is like getting two blue seals all at one time. But in Fucoidan, there's some that's grown around the cold waters of South Australia, some up around northern Japan. Different locations of the world give us different species of Fucoidan. And we realized that with each species, some was more gastrointestinal specific, some was more immune system specific, some was very specific to inflammation, some was antioxidant specific. So we chose to use the world's best certified organic, but we have all four species. We have the F series, the C series, the U series. We have the complete best of the best. The vitamin D3 that we're using is cholecalciferol. That is the vitamin D3 that the body utilizes. And look at the power of the 2,500 units per scoop. 100 milligrams of Fucoidan, 2,500 units of vitamin D3. Ester C is the tummy loves it powerful immune system vitamin C called calcium ascorbate, and it's a very powerful 25 milligrams. We have 10 milligrams of coenzyme Q10, and we have a beautiful chelated, a very powerful plant-derived ionic mineral blend, and we'll talk about all of those as we go along. I'm going to spend a lot more time tonight on Fucoidan simply because of the newness, and then toward the end of the what's in it and what's it all about, I'll just briefly touch on vitamin D3, ester C, coenzyme Q10, and the chelated mineral blend. But Fucoidan itself is a plant. It's a miracle plant. It's a miracle sea plant. It comes out of the pristine, pure, very cold waters of the ocean, some around southern Australia, some way up there almost in the Siberian Sea, and it's grown. It's a marine vegetable that's native real close to the coastal region. It's not deep water. It's right over there toward the coast that they grow this stuff. But the fantastic thing about it is the waters that it's being grown in are pristine pure, very clean, very wholesome. And when we look at Fucoidan, the reason it's in our product is because of the numerous research studies that have already gone on and the many, many, many years of clinical studies that have proven themselves. And I believe that in the next 1 or 2 years, that because of the research, the cancer research that's going on with Fucoidan, I would surmise that this will very likely be named the product of the year. Fucoidan is just going to be the nutrition of nutritions. It's a natural way to restore and rejuvenate. When you swallow just one scoop of isLife, you're going to put a powerful punch in your longevity genes. It increases longevity. It is going to build the body to be disease resistant, and that is parasite, fungus, bacteria, viruses, the menagerie of things that try to steal the vim and vigor out of our life, and physically you'll find overall body strength, which, by the way, I'm going to divert here for just a minute on this isLife. Today I heard from one of my dear friends who plays for the Houston Rockets. He's a professional basketball player, Alexander Johnson, and he was relaying back to me that OPC Plus has become his very most important nutrition in his professional basketball career. He says that he has more stamina, more get up and go, more recovery than he's ever had in the history of his basketball career, and he's taking OPC Plus very faithfully. And he wanted to know if he could actually take OPC Plus a few minutes before the game. I said, man, you go right ahead and do it. But I can't wait to introduce Alexander to isLife, because the truth is overall body strength, the ability to recoup, to rejuvenate, to restore is in this scoop. It's loaded. It's loaded with plant enzymes, and enzymes are great for digestion. Enzymes are necessary for protein breakdown. You see, whenever you have a big protein molecule, you cleave it into essential fatty acids and protein molecules the body can utilize for energy. That means you have a better, stronger immune function and total overall health. Other things that are in Fucoidan that's going to make it powerful is that it's rich in polyphenols. Now, polyphenols are those things that grab the dangerous free radicals, meaning less cell damage and less cell degeneration. Fucoidan. Another slide that we'll keep talking about Fucoidan for a moment is that the neat nutrition that's in Fucoidan, because of the polyphenols, is that it will help the body to detoxify heavy metals. We're dealing in a world of heavy metals like mercury and lead and cadmium. All those things are detrimental to our better health, and heavy metal and toxins that can easily be corralled with Fucoidan, that's going to be a good thing. It'll improve the structure of your hair and your skin as well as your nails. And anytime you can improve the structure of the hair, skin, and nails, as well as boost the growth, all those things will come about. It'll be good for the gastrointestinal function. We'll find that in the market, Fucoidan has very specifically in the studies been very effective in reducing high blood sugars as well as high blood cholesterol levels. It supports a normal metabolism. It's optimal for thyroid function. Put all these things together, better metabolism, better thyroid, meaning it's the perfect companion for any weight loss program. It's the protector. It protects the cells in the medical studies that are going on right now in cancer research. They're looking at it because of the protective ability of protecting cells from malignant replications and cell damage. Other things in the area of degeneration, it fights those degenerative diseases. Some of you even tonight are wobbling and having trouble with your knees and hips and back, your muscles. Those things are not what they used to be. And you want to protect the heart, the lung, the liver, and the rest of the body. It works on the aging processes on a cellular level. It'll be very healthy against skin deterioration and tissue damage. This is called a wound healing nutrition. People that have wounds that are slow to heal, bed sores, things like that. Perfect nutrition. It's very liver protective. It raises what we call the HGF, the hepatic growth factor. And anybody with any kind of serious liver diseases is going to find that anytime you can raise your HGF level, you're helping your body to regenerate. The liver itself is one of the only organs of the human body that physically can regenerate itself over a 4-year period of time. So what's in Fucoidan? Well, when we take it to our biochemistry lab and look at it from a pharmacology perspective, we find it to be very rich in glyconutrients, things like galactose and mannose and xylose. It's chock full of amino acids, including the glycoproteins that build your skin and your blood and your hair and all the elements. It has a wide range of essential and non-essential fatty acids. Just today on NBC television, I was the guest to speak medically in behalf of children that were going back to school. And they were looking for alternatives to Ritalin and Statera and Adderall and drugs that come with possible major side effects. And I told the NBC listening audience this today at the noon hour, I said, the one thing you definitely want to find for a child to make every student a better student, to keep that child focused and to keep that child alert without being hyper, is called an essential fatty acid, DHA. The DHA, the docosahexacosanol, the DHA essential fatty acid is very beneficial to the brain. And you know what? It's in our Fucoidan. We also have a broad spectrum of essential minerals and vitamins. And you look at the world today, the best of farming, everything in the soil practically from the zinc all the way down to the chromium has literally been stripped from the soil and if not replenished, it's just not as good a fruit or as good a vegetable as we would normally get. But every ounce of Fucoidan that comes straight out of the sea is embedded with a natural, perfect mineral complex and vitamin complex. In fact, you could take dried Fucoidan and fertilize depleted farm soil and make it the perfect farm just by sprinkling on the Fucoidan. It has a variety of polyphenols. I mentioned earlier that those are the things that help the body to defend itself against toxic chemistry. But the powerful antioxidants that are in this plant compound, and specifically we're using 4 different species, we're finding that these fucans and fucodons give us the perfect blend of nutrition. They're complex and they're polysaccharides. We get an organic iodine that is very essential to breaking up cysts and making sure that tumors don't propagate and making sure that your thyroid gland doesn't become swollen or inflamed or goitered. Organic iodine is very necessary for good human health. Alginate is in there. That's a perfect little sponge and a mopper-upper. It's a detoxifier. Laminarin is one of the fine nutritions that is in the Fucoidan plant, and it gives us a perfect way to be anti-clotting. In other words, we don't form irregular, bad, clumpy blood clots. It prevents bad blood clots. Laminarin is also an anti-cancer compound, very much researched. It has an excellent vegetarian source of full nutrition. So people that are looking for the perfect nutrition in a vegetarian means, this is a plant, Fucoidan, and it comes with perfection. All in their God-given natural colloidal forms, which means they are fully ionic and very much charged and ready to go. So the nutrients that are in Fucoidan, on the next slide, we start talking about what these minerals and amino acids are going to do. They're going to retain the integrity themselves. When we use these Fucoidans in our product, they are in such colloidal states that when we mix them, even in a liquid suspension, they contain and retain their integrity. They're micro-sized, tiny, and that makes them much easier to be absorbed through the cell walls, easily accepted by the human body. There'll be no metallic accumulation. That means you won't accumulate iron overload. You won't have to worry about selenium or copper or manganese or zinc or magnesium. They come in a perfect full spectrum, but fully utilized. No malabsorption and no metallic overload. And they make the transportation and the utilization of all other foods and vitamins in your body much more available. They facilitate, while they're putting in the good stuff, they'll pull out the bad stuff. And because they are highly bioavailable, we're able to take our dose to 1 small scoop twice a day and give you a plethora of nutrition that normally would take hundreds of vitamin pills and capsules just to meet what is in that 1 small scoop. I looked up what folk remedy. See, this stuff's been around for 100 years or more. And when you start looking at actual documentations of what Grandma, Grandpa, and great-grandma and grandpa had to say, Fucoidan has been used over the decades to treat cuts and burns and sore throats and allergies and arthritis and bowel disorders, great for colds and flu and rashes, anything that's red or inflamed, infections. And I even found where back in the days when many people were scared to death of tuberculosis, Fucoidan was one of the nutritions that always seemed to rise to the top of the charts as a good home remedy. People with parasites, tumors, ulcers, they just noted. The old folk remedy book on Fucoidan mentions many extraordinary curative powers. But on the next slide, I copied this straight out of the scientific journals. And this is what is amazing. We're talking about real McCoy, double-blind, super-duper medical studies, done some by MDs, some by PhD biochemists, some by pharmacologists. And they find that Fucoidan enhances immunity, fights allergies, inhibits blood clotting, like I said a moment ago, prevents blood clots, decreases the LDL, the VLDL, but at the same time raises the HDL. It'll lower high blood pressure, stabilizes blood sugars, prevents ulcers because it kills H. pylori bacteria. And the same type of antibodies that Fucoidan form are identical to the antibodies that human mother's milk performs, and we know the benefit of human mother's milk. It holds a profound promise for people that are suffering with liver disease. I mentioned a moment ago the hepatic factors, and one of those is called cytokine. And anytime the cytokines go up, the liver becomes very wholesome, clean, and embellished. It'll relieve stomach disorders, people that burp, belch, heartburn, indigestion, and any of those that have any kind of itis, gastritis, ulcerative colitis, stomach ache. Perfect nutrition for the child who said, "Mommy, I can't go to school today, my tummy aches." Well, you can fix that in 5 minutes. It'll promote hair growth. It'll maintain the moisture of the skin as well as the integrity and the tensile strength of the skin. It'll tighten up loose, flabby skin. It'll help detoxify the body of dangerous chemicals, particularly heavy metals. It has an antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasite, and anti-cancer properties, all produced in scientific studies. It contains powerful antioxidant compounds, way beyond the normal vitamin A, C, and E. It combats yeast infections, and how many ladies have a chronic monthly cycle problem with urinary tract infections and yeast problems. Perfect nutrition for PMS and menstrual cramps. So that's Fucoidan. On the next slide, we master ester C, calcium ascorbate. 25 milligrams is going to give us the powerful immune support. The reason ester C is in our product is because Fucoidan is loaded with vitamin C. And we know in research that ester C in particular will hold the vitamin C in the blood working as an antiviral, antibacterial for 24 solid hours. Ester C is very easily absorbed, totally utilized by the body. And when that happens, because ester C is in our product, it's going to be highly activating every system of the immune system. That's the T cells, the B cells, the natural killer cells. And all the while, it's gentle on the stomach. It's not acidic. Unfortunately, vitamin C is not. But this is a non-acidic form of vitamin C. It'll be in our product for healthier bones, cartilage, teeth, periodontal, the gums, and all of that. And it, too, will cause the Fucoidan to become extra strong and to remain cyclic day in and day out, moment by moment, against environmental pollutants. On the next slide, we talk about coenzyme Q10. It's in our product because everything about cellular respiration and adenosine triphosphate energy, the phosphorus side of energy, is always going to accumulate from the spark plug called coenzyme Q10. It's like putting new spark plugs in your engine every single day. And isn't it amazing? Most of the time we think about respiration as breathing air through the nose and mouth into the lung. But did you know that your little cells, all 70 trillion of them, also have to breathe, and they need to be cellularly respirations. And ATP is the energy that gives that cell the ability to respirate, to move oxygen in and out. It's a must. Coenzyme Q10 is a must-have for cardiovascular health, Parkinson's patients, muscular dystrophy, breast cancer, well, actually any other kind of cancer, diabetes, male infertility, AIDS patients, asthma patients, all forms of thyroid disorders from Sjogren's to thyroiditis, periodontal gum diseases. How do we know that? Well, right in the medical research, we find that everybody who has Parkinson's disease, muscular dystrophy, cardiovascular problems, breast cancer, diabetes, every single one of those patients, without a doubt, are always very majorly low in coenzyme Q10. So it should produce cellular respiration and make the cells come alive in a magnificent way. On the next slide, we're talking about cholecalciferol, the power of vitamin D3. Bones, cancer, yes, sir, 200 specific genes in the human body have already been labeled by genetic research to be shown that vitamin D is necessary for those genes to turn on the good, turn off the bad. Every diabetic is D3 dependent. Every heart disease patient must have more D3. Arthritis is not going to be conquered without D3. PMS, D3. People that are chronically fatigued need more D3. Every autoimmune disease, from the lupus right on down to the rheumatoid arthritis, are always in greater need of more D3. People that are obese and trying to lose a pound, D3. Syndrome X is high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high blood triglyceride, high cholesterol, and the whole mess of weight gain. And D3 plays a major active role in Syndrome X. D3 is the longevity anti-aging nutrition. D3 is necessary to control high blood pressure. D3 has to be in the system in order to conquer chronic pain. Eczema, the atopic dermatitis, the inflammation, redness of the skin will not go away without D3. Every seizure patient who takes a seizure drug, from Trileptal to Dilantin to all those different drugs for seizures, they all diminish and push D3 out of the body. Please replenish your body every day with D3. Migraine headache patients are always D number 3 deficient. So we come to the